Thank
So
you.
good morning, everybody. My name is Ola Skalska and I work for Funding Box, and we basically do the cascade funding for the Commission for many, many years now. We manage 18 projects at this moment. So I'm going to focus on the major one that's coming this autumn, that's called L4MS, Logistics for Manufacturing SMEs. At the end, I will tell you briefly, as one of my colleagues in the team is having another open call. One of our projects, C Voucher, that I coordinate, was presented this morning. So let's go. The bottom line behind the L4MS is the issue with, oh, sorry, there is some kind of animation time here I didn't see before. Well, the bottom line is the issue with, no, I'm gonna do like that, I'm sorry. The presentation, my computer is just getting a bit crazy. As you know, the SMEs, smaller companies, have no money, no skills, no time to actually get the automation in place. So we were thinking how to help and how to solve the situation as the competition with the corporates is so huge. And then the logistics processes, especially, it's our core interest here, as they are not only complicated, but time consuming, and they require lots and lots of effort. So we were thinking about offering something that will fix all the challenges within the production, within the solution area, and then we are offering the skill and expertise in order to improve the logistics in the warehousing premises. So what we're trying to do in L4MS here is we're saying we will offer the technology that will allow the SMEs to reduce the time necessary for improving logistics, for including robots, machinery, automated guided vehicles, anything that could help at the end of the day. And we're offering an acceleration program in order to do that. So we're getting both the technology in order to improve the logistics and the money requested for the entire process to be completed. The technology that is actually done within the consortium, so that's like the brand new offered, brand new platform that we call OPIL, Open Platform for Innovation in Logistics. This is the technology that's actually mapping a warehousing area. So we have the machines, the sensors that walk around, look around, they map, they measure, they provide data, and then based on the data they see, the current state of the logistics process, the OPIL can make recommendations. So at the end of the day, OPIL is producing a digital twin of the logistics area, and OPIL is saying, this is working, this is not, that's the equipment you could be adding in order to speed up the process, to reduce the cost, to maybe relocate people, to maybe make a different machine-human connection somewhere on the floor. So our major goal here is to provide a complete solution that says what it sees, what it could be, and what's the reduction, what's the saving at the end for the small and medium enterprise that might be having a logistics problem. So we're having an open call, the second one this year. Last edition we closed in November 2018, and we're looking for really an experiment. So the L4MS is offering technology and money, and in return we're asking the applicants to implement the technology in their logistics premises and let us know, give us basically feedback how the technology was working, how it improved, hopefully, the current status of the process, what the benefits they see in OPIL, are there any? Maybe some additions are necessary. So we're talking about testing, experimenting with the technology here, first of all. So all the 3D factory simulations, they stay with the applicant. So this is the offer that can continue beyond this project. We hope that the mentoring and coaching we're offering will improve the skill set in the factory, and that the OPIL once the L4MS is over will be usable in a longer term. So what actually we're trying to do here is to get the full technology plus, as you can see here, the funding up to €250,000. So the benefit is really good at this point. We're not only giving the solution, but we're always covering the cost of the applicant testing this solution within their factory. So there are many technical details beyond the name OPIL, this software platform. So if anyone is interested, we have a huge presentation how the OPIL was structured, what the layers of OPIL are, and what it can actually do, and how it should be integrated in the local system that companies have. I'm not going to go into technical details right now. What is important here is that we are looking for consortia. So these are not individual applications. We are thinking that the manufacturing SME with a logistics premises and a bottleneck is probably not skilled enough at this point to take OPIL and run it. So we're looking for this manufacturing SME to have another partner on board. And for that, there are different options. It could be a system integrator. It could be an AGV, automated guided vehicle manufacturer joining. It could be a competence center, a digital innovation hub, even academia. So we're trying to build a complementary team of people that will be testing the technology at the manufacturing SMEs factory. So partners can come from the same country, different countries. The setup is up to the consortium. Based on the experience from last year, I see that our finalists were actually connected within one region. So that gives us the clue that probably this is the best setup and the most successful one. The core element, the manufacturing SME, could be coming from really any sector. We have producers of shoes, the pharmaceuticals, we have a producer of mailboxes, of plastic, so it could be really anything. The sector of manufacturing is not important. What matters here is that the manufacturing SME sees the need for improving logistics processes, has no idea how to do it in a cost-efficient way, and basically wants to test something new in order to improve the innovation and make the manufacturing more digital. So the applicants, very wide catalog, as I was saying. Only the first bullet here, the small, medium-sized enterprise or a mid-cap. We didn't have mid-caps yet, however, it's possible, up to 3,000 employees at the premises. Only this partner is the obligatory one. The setup beyond that, absolutely up to the consortium, so that's internal decision. We are not interfering with that. There are no additional points for any type of the stakeholder. It's just the SME, the mid-cap that we're requiring. And then what are the countries? Well, that's pretty standard. We are talking the European Union, overseas countries associated within the Horizon 2020. So that's your standard procedure. As many countries as you wish could join. So yeah, as I was saying, regional connections seem to be the most successful ones in terms of the evaluation we did last year. That €250,000, that's a kind of, you know, a decent grant at this point. There are certain limitations, however. So there is a maximum of €100,000 per each stakeholder. And then we're saying there is a distribution between the manufacturing SME and all the other types of partners. The manufacturing SME will not get more than 48,000. Any other will get 98. We will be also checking one thing that is important and might reduce this funding. As you know, the Commission is trying to avoid the situation that people apply in multiple calls and they just get money from everywhere. So here we're talking about the funding from two particular programs, which is the Smart Anything Everywhere and I4MS. I4MS, that's the initiative, umbrella initiative all over L4MS. We also manage that at Funding Box. So whoever participated in only these two programs before and got any grants, they will need to report back to us and we double check everything. So the amount awarded in the past will be actually deducted from the L4MS grant. So that's the only limitation really here when it comes to money. Other than that, we are not requesting any big financial data. We are not looking to analyze any historical data nor the projections. So the application process is pretty easy. And the actual, the best setup here to maximize the grant would be to have one manufacturing SME, an obligatory one, and then 2 other providers, which gives you basically €250,000. And then this is the ideal experiment. And based on the first round of calls, this is what worked the best. And it was the most efficient structure of the consortium. So 1 + 2, and then we're done. Obviously, if they know each other, if they have complementary skills, if they can show the teams are going to work together successfully, this is what matters as well. So, well, as in any European Commission project, you can cover certain costs that are pretty typical. It would be the personnel, the travel, the purchase of other goods, of course, as long as these costs are justified. So if you want to travel to Hawaii, that's not going to be possible most probably. But if you're traveling to see your partner, to complete the experiment, to do something together, this type of journeys will be covered. Again, the purchase, the limitation restriction here is purchase needs to be absolutely necessary for the experiment. So any commercial purchases will not be granted. By that, I mean, if the goods or services bought are being used to get some income at the end, we will not cover that. The only purchase is the prototypes, the machinery requested by the experiment, the additional elements that need to be placed on the logistics floor in order to deliver the task. This is all fine. So of course, there are certain deliverables on the way. We are in constant touch with experiments. They are reporting back to us. They have dedicated mentors. So all the progress of the experiment is being tested, and this is tested against payment. So once the deliverable is in, it's validated. The mentor says, yes, the job was done. Everything's fine. Then we release the payment. So these are actually a few batches on the way. And of course, any cost that was already paid by the Commission will not be granted under L4MS. And then the mobile robots or the AGVs themselves, well, first of all, this is big money, so I'm not sure how you could cover it from L4MS. But if you're trying to get an actual hardware here to work commercially for you, this is not going to be possible. So what we're looking for once we get the applications is actually to tell us, first of all, the story that you see right now. What's the situation at the warehousing area? What are the bottlenecks? What's the setup that you proceed with on a daily basis? And then how you see things improving. You will see the entire description of OPIL once you apply, and then try to imagine how OPIL could actually benefit you, what KPIs will change, what will happen once you complete the entire implementation project. How are you going to contribute? We always look forward to feedback, what in OPIL could be actually changed. So all the applications are done in English. Funding Box has a separate system that's ours. We do it only online. The application is pretty straightforward, answering simple questions, providing us the basic details on the application level, and then we take you a bit farther and we're narrowing down all the problems that you identified, and we're trying to help you solve it. So in order to get involved, we are having this call in September. As you can see, it says here 1st September it opens. We are getting ready for the second and last round. There is no more calls in L4MS except for this one. L4MS EU, that's our starting point. So then you will see the invitation to submit applications. The actual submission is not possible yet as we're still in June. However, please look at the page, look around, see the documents that we have from the first edition. The updated versions will be available very, very soon. So everything is available to get ready now and then submit in between September 1st and November 30th. as the call is open for 3 months. There is one more option which is interesting here, as we are having lots of questions from people, stakeholders who might not have consortia plans yet. So we opened this individual interest registration website, and this is the address, L4MS registration fundingbox.com, and it's open now. So if you see L4MS being in any way helpful, however, you do not see any partners in your ecosystem, we are accepting all the individual applications, which is basically saying, here we are in this country, we are in manufacturing SME or a competence center or a hub. Please try to match make us with somebody suitable. So us seeing all the data, we're trying to arrange consortia that in September and onwards will be applying to the call. So once you're successful, if you're in, we're looking for 10 consortia that will be entering stage 1. And given the actual timeline, we're talking February that stage 1 will open, or maybe March next year. So there is still lots of time. Once you're in the stage 1, all your work will be done with a mentor, with a coach, with the person that was actually writing the OPIL technology. So this person will be able to see your application in detail and actually precise your execution plan that will be going into stage 2. So in the stage 1, all consortia are producing rather, I would say, theoretical document, plus they do the simulation in OPIL, but only on OPIL level, not in the warehousing yet. And all 10 consortia are meeting at the bootcamp. That's the last part of this stage. And then during the bootcamp, we're cutting down from 10 to 6. So there is this, again, the kind of a cascade concept here, that from 10, 6 are moving forward. The 6 standing here will actually get all the money. So the initial stage will cover your cost of traveling to the bootcamp, and there is no more funding at this point. If you're good enough to be in stage 2, you will get the promised €250,000, and then this is the time when you actually execute. So all the technology is being implemented in the premises, you're running all the testing, experimenting, getting the costs covered. And then again, at the end of stage 2, there is a bootcamp. At this point, we're looking to cut 3 out of 6 consortia, and the 3 last ones will enter stage 3. And stage 3, this is something at Funding Box, we do it always. Every time we have a project, we're trying to finish on a good note, and then we're trying to link the best ones with private capital. We're fully aware that $250,000, especially if you divide it into several partners, might not be enough. So we're actually teaching and coaching the final finalists in order to get private money. And this money could be anything from $1 million up to, well, sky's the limit, really. So what we do here, we offer the connection with the private investors. Obviously, at this stage, if the negotiation is successful, it happens beyond the project. Plus, this is not equity free anymore, so you need to be aware of that. L4MS, all the money is yours. Once you talk to private capital, they might be asking for a percentage of your shares. In turn for a few €1 million, so it could be a fair deal. And this is how the program looks like. All over, it's 11 months. Right now, our first edition, we are somewhere here, second month of the stage 2. So our experiments are actually implementing everything, and we observe how it's going. So far, so good. Lots of cool stories. If you would be interested, please visit l4ms.eu, because we provide details there. And then just very briefly about another project that I do not manage, however, I know that it's looking for applicants. It's called Tetramax, and this is the area of low energy computing. So here, the issue, again, starting from digital manufacturing perspective, is how to lower the cost of computing, how to upgrade product services, how to innovate, how to adapt to the new business models. So Tetramax is focused on 4 different areas. cyber physical systems, IoT, Industry 4.0, and customized low energy computing. And then they are open, if you hit the TetraMax EU calls, they are opening call late August this year. So what TetraMax is offering is the, again, experiment, similar concept as L4MS. It's going to be between 20 and 70,000 euros. These are short-term experiments. It could be even half a year and you're done. What is good about TetraMax is that TetraMax is very, very agile in a way, a very lean concept. So you will know if you're in, out very quickly. The selection procedure is very straightforward. And this is, if I remember correctly, this is again the second or the third round of calls in TetraMax. They were very popular so far. You know, the topic these days, low energy computing, something big. So if you feel like that could be your option, the website was here, TetraMax EU calls. And that would be it. This is the, just to let you know, that's the network, 21 partners in L4MS. Coming to my major point, we have really good people behind the technology. We have Fraunhofer, VTT, various competence centers, visual components providing the visual layer of the Opal technology. So it's all working, all done, waiting for the applicants. We're starting September. If you are an individual applying, we're open right now. So yes, please let me know if there are any questions. If not, I hope this presentation can stay with you. Apologies about the animation. My computer just wasn't ready for the meeting this morning. So thanks very much. If there are questions, I'm around.